Today we're going to talk with Omar. He comes from Pakistan, he's in the US, and he got his I-140 approved for EB2 NIW. He is in the field of data science. He's a data scientist, so if you are in IT, software engineering, you will find this particularly beneficial. But even if you are in different fields, there's always good tips in these conversations. Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. In this channel, we talk about green card categories where you can self-petition. That means that you don't need to have a job offer, a company is sponsoring you, and you can even do it without lawyers, saving a lot of money. But let's see what Omar has to say about this. All right, Omar, thank you so much for being here and congratulations on your approval.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
So you just got EB2 NIW I-140 approved. So before we get into that analysis of your case and how you accomplished that, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Where do you come from? What is your life in the US, your history with the US?
I'm from Pakistan, Karachi, Pakistan, and I was studying business over there. And then I decided to switch my field. I got into data analytics and machine learning. And for that, I got admission into my master's program here in US. And from here, like not just my degree program, but I also, on the side, I was taking some certificate courses because I was a business student. So I was just getting into the data science machine learning. And then I graduated in 2021. And ever since then, I've been working here in the same, like as a data analyst. I've switched a couple of jobs, but like right now, it's only been around 2 years since I've been, employed.
Okay, so from the immigration point of view, you came from Pakistan to study, so I guess you use an F visa probably, right?
Yeah, so it was F visa, and then for my work permit, that was OPT, and then right now it's STEM OPT right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did some of that, and I'm sure many of the viewers are also familiar with this. OPT is a permit that you get to work after you graduate in the US.
12
And if you are
months.
in STEM, you get 3 years, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And Omar and I don't know each other. We are meeting each other
for the first time.
Right?
Yeah.
You wrote me on Instagram, which I
I
really
was
like.
excited. That was like you're like the first few person I actually reached out to. Like I didn't even tell my parents at that time. I was like, let me just message him first. he has been a great help, so let me message him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I must say that I was about to go to bed, but I saw your message and I think I told you, okay, I will tell you more tomorrow, but congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, that was way out of my like normal usual working hours.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, and I get really happy, and I really appreciate when people like you let me know, because, like I said, I didn't know you. Later we'll get into why you know me, but if you don't tell me, which you didn't have to, I would never know. So
Yeah.
that's the reality. So let's go back to your immigration process. Like now we got super happy because of your approval. So you got your approval. You were a student in the US, you graduated, you are now working, you went from business to data science. How and when did you decide, okay, this visa, going from one visa to the next is going to be a problematic situation, I need something else?
That was not too far back, actually. I was looking into something like not something that is not employer dependent. And I was looking into my options into Canada as well as US, because I want something that is not tied to some other like entity processing, right? So like the YouTube algorithm, how it works, like Oscar videos came in front of me, and other also like immigration lawyers who do like live sessions as well, like they start coming, the algorithm started kicking in, and I started seeing the videos, and I was like, oh, here's something that I could actually start evaluating myself. And then in June, in June 2023, I actually started evaluating my profile, and then like that's the point where I actually got into it. June 2023, yeah.
Okay. So you started evaluating yourself June and now we
Yeah,
are in September, and you already got
September.
your approval.
Yeah, so I evaluated in June, and then I bought the first package, which was just the overview package from your website,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 days later I got the whole I-140 package,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started like building my profile starting from like end of June. Like actually started writing the cover letter
Okay.
and gathering documentations and everything.
Wow. Okay. So no lawyer was used. You just use
So yeah, so
what information did you use? Yeah.
I actually reached out to a lawyer, but it was very expensive. Actually, I reached out to two. One didn't even they didn't take my case because like I don't have a PhD, no publication, no citations,
Yeah.
2 years of work experience. So on the face of it, it's like you're not gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah, many
So
lawyers say no. Like we
yeah,
have candidates that are easily achievable,
yeah,
and maybe the case is tougher.
yeah. And then one of them, he like they asked a lot of questions. They actually gave me a code, but like it was too much. It was too much for me,
Yeah.
and like it was more than like 5,000 for just processing
Yeah.
that. And then on top of that, I would have to pay like this 700 plus 2,500 for my premium processing, and then it
Yeah.
would be like around like 8,000, 9,000 altogether if I would have gone
Yeah.
that way.
It's a lot.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Especially for someone that is early on the career, which is the case of many people.
yeah, I mean, it's like we barely like the savings part is like barely making sense for us, and then like we spend a whole lot of money on these kind of things. So like
Yeah.
like lawyer, it's fine as long as it's actually like you really need it. Then I would say for sure like go for it. But like if there's something that you can do yourself, then I think we should push ourselves for that.
Yeah. So you mentioned, okay, you explore the lawyer route.
Hmm.
You decided not to go with that. But
Yeah,
how?
so I never ever wanted to go through the lawyer route. I knew that there are people out there who are doing it themselves. The reason I went to the lawyer was just to test the waters, just to see if
Mhm.
my profile does actually make sense to some of them. And that I got from one of the lawyer. He actually was willing to do it, and that was the point where I was like, okay, yeah, now I've tested the waters. I
Okay.
think my profile does make sense to some people. So yeah, it was
Okay.
just for just reassuring myself.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Like, how did you decide? Okay, I think I have a shot at this. I think I
Yeah, yeah,
qualify, because that's a question that a lot of viewers are asking themselves: do I qualify or not? And if you ever read my comments that I reply,
yeah,
I I never go and say, yeah, I think you qualify or not. I
yeah,
always say, get the information, and you should decide
yeah,
based on your
for sure.
profile, propose
And
endeavor.
I actually have a really good advice for that. The thing is, if you're watching this and you do not have an I-140 approved right now, and you are just watching this video, you are exploring this, then the
Mhm.
chances are that you do feel that you do qualify on some basis. You do feel you have something impressive within you. Now you just have to like bring it out on a paper. So
Mhm.
the chances are you already have an impressive profile. It's just a matter of like making it presentable, making it
Yeah.
sound more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So before we'll get into your prong one and prong two, like what kind of evidence you use, but how was that process when you said, okay, I think I can do this? What is the first thing you did in your preparation journey? Was organizing evidence? What was it?
No, so the first thing was that endeavor statement,
Mm,
the crafting of that endeavor statement. That was very challenging for me. That was like the 2 weeks, first 2 weeks, because I wanted to craft a statement that I can link my prong one, prong two very smoothly with all the things that I've been doing,
mm-hmm,
with my contributions, with my achievements, with my current work experience, with everything around it. So
mm-hmm.
crafting that initial endeavor, uh, what problem I'm solving and what am I going to use, how my skills can solve this is actually it's the foundation of your entire package.
Yep, yep.
Is the
That's what I
foundation, and
tell
yeah,
people, and that's what I do in the course. In the course, I have a lecture about propose endeavor statement.
Yeah.
And what I say is that it's not easy. It
Yeah.
will take you maybe a few days of, okay, think, rethink, distill what you want to do, summarize, put
Yeah.
pieces together until you get the almost perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect, but
Yeah.
the almost perfect endeavor statement. So,
Yes.
by the way, we're getting into prong number 1, which is good. You are a data scientist, okay? You
Yeah.
have a business background, data science. There are a lot of people out there, I know, because I talk with many people and people with similar backgrounds. So if you want, tell me a little bit more about that proposed endeavor statement. What were you proposing to the US that you were going to do?
Okay. So my endeavor was that I want to tackle the online shopping frauds using the application of data science and machine learning.
Mhm.
And yeah, so this was basically the statement. The online shopping frauds is actually a big issue in United States, and so I divided my prompt one into 4 steps. So
Okay.
basically, the first one was the introduction of the problem. Like online shopping frauds is like huge. So what exactly am I targeting there? So
Yeah.
I got into some of the reports from FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, and the FBI, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. They both publish. What FBI publishes Internet Crime Report, and FTC publishes Consumer Senator Index report in every year, basically. So in those reports, you get the type of frauds the U.S. consumers are facing, and how much is it accounting for in terms of dollars, like how much millions people are losing in those kind of frauds. The data was already collected and it was assembled already in those 2 reports. So I
Yeah.
pointed out in this introduction stage of my prompt one, step one, I pointed out that these are the problems I'm going to solve. And I gave evidence of the FTC report and the FBI report that within these reports, like these are the areas that I'm going to be targeting. I'm not going to target the entire internet
Yeah.
crime,
Yeah.
whatever is happening. I'm going to
Yeah.
target 4 parts of it, which you have
Okay.
mentioned. And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, and that's good because you're using official publications that
yes,
come from an agency from the U.S. government,
yeah,
which is the best type of
yeah,
evidence.
is the best a resource for like quoting to the government.
Exactly.
And then the second part, so this was the first. I introduced my problem, I established my problem. Now, in the second part, I highlighted the impact of the problem. So I think I've already said this, that the impact of the problem is the stats that were given in these reports. And apart from just these 2 reports, there were also tons and tons of like press releases by the FBI and the FTC publishing different articles online, like warning people during Christmas season that, oh, this is a big problem, and
Yeah.
online shopping fraud. So I wasn't so this right now I'm not touching data science, data analytics anywhere. I'm just touching the problem. I'm just
Yeah.
tackling the problem right now. And then I'm just highlighting the impact of how big this thing is, right? In the third part, now I am highlighting how data science and machine learning is significant for solving the what you call online shopping frauds. So
Mhm.
over here, I highlighted the articles that the big retailers are struggling, making their online environment more secure, and they're struggling with using the new like machine learning tools, their analytics. There were tons and tons of resources on Harvard Business Review, on Forbes, on Wall Street Journals,
Mhm.
and also I just added the fourth part, which was I don't think I should have. It's kind of like repetitive, which I did afterwards as well, but I did add that over here. The what I added here was the benefit to the United States, and then I added from what I wrote in the first 3 parts of prompt one. I just summarized that how like solving this would be
Yeah.
beneficial for the US.
So
But I
basically,
yeah,
maybe reminding that,
yeah,
like repeating, reminding,
yeah,
highlighting how it is important for the US.
yeah. So these were 12 main points, and then elaborated by 3 lines each. So it was
Mhm.
like a page and a half for this. It was a lot of writing as well, right? So
Mhm.
for that, I used ChatGPT heavily,
Mhm.
like heavily.
Yeah.
ChatGPT was like, even with something that I knew, like 3 lines, I knew I have the sentence ready. I'm gonna put it
Mhm.
in ChatGPT. It's gonna give me 6 lines for that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
very nicely written 6 lines, and I'm gonna put it in my application cover letter. So
yeah.
and the way I was doing it is FTC wrote something, FBI wrote something on some project, and then I give a conclusion in my own words as to why, how this is like, how this is related to my endeavor. Like every point was linking back to
Good,
my endeavor statement.
good.
So
That is
if the
something that
yeah,
I also stress. Yeah.
if the USCIS officer just randomly like opens like page 7 of my cover
Hmm.
letter, whatever he's reading, there's a paragraph underneath that will explain why this is important, why this is in the
Yeah.
national interest for the US, and substantial merit
Yeah,
as
and
well.
why you can help them solve it, and
Yeah,
that is why it's related to your endeavor. If you don't do that, which a lot of people make that mistake, then that may trigger an RFE because the officer will
yeah,
say, "Well, I agree that machine learning is important, or that this kind of thefts are a problem,
mm,
but you're not telling me what are you going to do about it."
yeah,
And then the story is incomplete. So I think your strategy was the perfect one to
yeah.
state the problem and how your
How?
endeavor relates to it. And you mentioned ChatGPT, and you mentioned how you can use it. I would also add you can use it to, maybe you also did, to paraphrase or to summarize some of those documents that you find, and
Yeah,
then, like you said, to correct your writing, or to improve it in some
yeah.
way. I mean, it's out there, it's free. I
Look,
mean, we should just use it.
and also like for people using, so there's a, you need to create what you call your own
With the prompt.
yeah,
Or,
prompts. Sorry, yeah, exactly. Sorry, thank you so much for this. Your prompts, and you just feed information to it, and it's gonna craft your
hmm.
application. It's not gonna repeat the same words again and again
Yeah,
because it knows it's already there. So
yeah,
that'll be like very nicely shaped uh, a paragraph that's gonna come out of there. So build your prompts, get into the habit of using ChatGPT more and more, because
yeah.
this application, if you start typing it yourself, it's really hard to, like, if you're doing like a 20-25 page cover letter and you're trying to make a statement,
Hmm.
your narrative should be like in line, right? So it
Yeah.
should be if you have a tool like ChatGPT, we should use it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so we talked about prong number one. So let's move to prong number two, which, as most of the people that are watching this should know, is now putting the focus on you, on the applicant, and your qualifications, and why you are, in summary, why you are the best person to do the endeavor
Yeah,
that you propose in prong number one. So what kind of evidence did you use there?
yeah. So again, four divided into 4 parts. So
Hmm.
first is the education. So in education, I put down my master's degree, the courses that I took in my master's degree, and then I use two of the recommendation. Oh, so I actually use 7 letters for my
Hmm.
prompt two, for
Okay.
the recommendation letters, and of those 7, 4 were recommendation letters and 3 were independent letters.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So now in education, two of my professors actually wrote about the subjects they taught me. So I was emphasizing more on those subjects and my learning on those in those courses, that how I've learned uh, different kind of like machine learning models and machine learning tools, and I've presented some of my findings, and how that has helped me, put me into a
Yeah.
position that makes me well positioned for this endeavor. Everything, how does it make it well positioned for this endeavor? And now the second part was my contribution, achievement, and my influence. So this
Mm-hmm.
was the most like comprehensive part of it. My work that I've done separately, independently. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been building machine learning models since a few years now on a platform called Kaggle, and
Okay.
Kaggle is a online data science community, the largest online data science community in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And my rank over there was, and I was once in top 500 out of
Wow.
like 200,000 people. And
Wow.
you get ranked on the type of work that you do, and then
Mm-hmm.
other people, they give you feedback and how
Mm-hmm.
active you are, and all the it's like a social networking site
Yeah,
for like
and
data
maybe
scientists.
number of views or some
Number
or
of views,
downloads or something like that.
number of times people have forked your work, number of times uh, the type of comments that they're giving you, the feedback. So I
Yeah.
was very active over there. Apart from that, I was also active on a lot of LinkedIn data science communities and
Mm.
networking sessions of those data science communities. And
Yeah.
that's where I found two of my very strong recommendations. One of them was a state government employee, very high ranking state government employee, who was the director of data analytics at
Uh,
a very big state government employee
mhm.
organization. So he was willing to write a recommendation for me, uh, and that I found only through these networking sessions. And then another was a very high ranking official of Microsoft, so he
Mhm.
was also willing to write for me. And
Yeah. And these are independent, right? Both of them.
independent, yeah, I don't know them, I just met them through the what you call these on networking events happening in New York, happening in different places.
Yeah.
So and like they don't personally know me, they haven't ever worked with me. And
Mhm.
and the way I reached out to them was I emailed them. I said that you have been in this industry for past 10 years and you have this profile, and I think and I explained them why I need this. I'm applying for this visa category and it requires an independent reviewer
Mhm.
for my work, and I think your profile fits the best. So
Yeah.
can you please give my work, which is available publicly, can you give your independent analysis on my work?
Mm.
And they were happily like willing to do it for
Wow.
me.
That,
Yeah,
that's that's a great tip because many people ask me like, how do I get independent letters? It's
yeah,
impossible. I'm not a scientist. You are the perfect example. Like through
yeah,
networking is a good way.
yeah,
Through contacts you already have, that's another good way.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, just and like just write an email. Maybe like like the worst can happen is they don't reply, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
What is the worst that can happen? Yeah.
yeah,
That they
yeah,
ignore you. Fine. I mean,
yeah,
you're strong to go to move forward, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay.
And then my influence was I worked with some of the people who I've mentored, so they put
Mhm.
up a very nice LinkedIn recommendation for me, so I use that as I'm making an impact. I'm making my influences actually making people have a career in data science.
Yeah.
So this is how I established my influence.
Hmm.
And my achievements were yeah, achievements was also this like being highly ranked on a public platform, and then doing different kind of certification and certificate programs
Yeah.
uh, to enhance my skills. So all
Yeah.
of it, all of this thing. So it has to again go back to your endeavor statement, that how are you the right person for this. So so all these things, all these certificate programs were like, okay, this makes for every certificate that I was mentioning, I was also like writing 2-3 lines on how this is
How
making
is
me,
important and how
how
is
is
relevant.
important,
Yeah.
well positioned for my endeavor. So this
Yeah.
was,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And I didn't mention it, but you putting the code out there in that kind of platform that is social and is very specific to your field, that
yeah,
is kind of equivalent to what scientists do with their research. Like
yeah,
we publish on traditional peer review papers, and
mm,
you found a creative way of having something equivalent, even if it's
yeah,
not the same. But you didn't panic and you said, "Oh,
yeah,
it's impossible. I don't have publication." You found the best way for you, and
yeah,
that's what people should do.
yeah. And that's exactly what the thought process was, because they haven't really identified any specific way you can establish the matter of Dhanasa, right? So it's open ended, and if I can equate Google Scholar to whatever I'm doing on Kaggle,
Hmm.
and it should, in my specific case, in my specific field, then it should work, and that was the thought process behind it.
What you have to prove is that you have made an impact beyond your organization to the overall field. So there are endless ways, and the ways you use will depend on exactly what type of work you do. Like
Yeah.
people focus too much on scientists, and it's true that peer review publications are very nice to establish that, because if you have publications, it's a proof that you are influencing the field. But here you are giving the perfect example of how there are other ways.
Yeah. In this point, all the feedbacks that I was getting on my work on Kaggle, that there were some feedbacks from very high ranking people on Kaggle, like who were in top 50, top 25, and they had a very strong LinkedIn profile as well. So I took screenshots of their Kaggle profile and their LinkedIn profile as well, and there were whatever feedback they gave me on my work, of that, the screenshot of that as well, and then I put it in my
Yeah.
as evidence. So those were like from people from like Indonesia, Spain, India, and different parts of the world. So that was like again making my contribution look more universally appealing.
Yeah. And in this Prong 2 or Prong 1, did you ever put together any like standalone professional plan or business plan?
Coming to that. So the third, so education, then second was my contribution, achievement, and my influence. The third one was my work experience. So I talk about my work experience, and so the work that I'm currently doing is also related to machine learning, data science, and a lot of it has to do with working with the retailer data as well, and looking at the retailer transactions data and working with big data, big millions and millions of rows. The fourth part was my professional plan. So in my professional plan, it actually took me a while to build this. I gave a 10-year plan. I did a 1 to 2 year, 3 to 4 year, 4 to 5 to 6 years, 7 to 8, and then last 2 years. And then I slowly built on top of like what I'm in the first few years, what I'm currently doing. I continue doing that, and then slowly build on top of it. I reach out in the third and fourth year. I reach out to the government agencies. I exactly wrote like what agencies I'm going to reach out to and how am I going to reach out to. Do they have any program that they do consultancies with private like professionals? Do they host seminars and stuff like that? So I put down all the information in very detail as to how I'm going to reach out to them. And then by like last 2 years, I would be working with the big retailers, and also working as a policy advocate for the Congress, because as this field is going to grow, it's going to be difficult for the Congress to have decision making or to make laws based on like online shopping, and they need professionals to guide them through the whole lawmaking process, and that definitely has a national implication for it, for sure. Because
so you mentioned earlier that you didn't do this with a lawyer, but I know, because we talked about it on our Instagram exchange, that you do have a different green card application that has been approved, right? So can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, so that's been a case that was filed last year with my company. So that's a employer attached with like a process. Employer that the employer sponsors you, and you are going to be processing through the employer. It's actually the employers doing everything. That was a EB3 application, and basically the reason for me to get into this is also to have something. So now this EB2 NIW will not be an employer specific.
It's yours. This is your process.
This is mine. So I process this like it's not attached with any employer. It's mine, and like if I go anywhere around the world, so it's gonna be
and it's a perfect sometimes a backup plan, sometimes it becomes the main plan, but I
exactly.
I did it too, and one of there were a few reasons in my case, but one of the reasons is because I wanted to be the owner of my own process and not depend on any company. That a company can suddenly go bankrupt or lay you off or whatever, and if you
so
have it's yours.
Exactly. And this was again the exact same thought process, that maybe I would end up with going forward with my EB3 application, given the my priority date over there is it's very attractive.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and I might just go ahead with that. And priority date plus the priority date of EB3 category, it's like it's
yeah.
taking more jumps. So it
And
kind of like,
I don't know if you know this, you probably know this, but you can use a priority date
yeah.
for a different category to the other category, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's just a matter of like now seeing like which one would get current first. So I want to
In
make
the
sure
vista bulletin.
I file EB2 or EB3 based on whichever is current. The
Fair.
final action date, not the filing. The final action date is current first. So I know
Yeah.
there was a panic on Friday. Like
Yeah, yeah.
everybody was like, it was everybody was looking at table A and then in table B.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The visa
yeah,
bulletin sometimes gives
yeah,
us surprises, and on Friday I was surprised too because
yeah,
it had been many months since they didn't allow to use table B. But you're right. Table A, I don't get tired of saying this. Table A is really what dictates if you are going to get the
yeah.
green card or not.
Yeah. And I'm looking at that and based on that to see if when would either EB3 or EB2, when would my date kick in for either one of these. So
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a backup and it's a relief too because like EB2, EB3 or date no matter how much backed up, like it's still not like it's still a year backed up, right?
Yeah.
It's not gone too far. And the
Yeah.
USCIS, what I think is they have a plan right now. They have a
Mhm.
plan to move forward slowly, gradually, not to move forward and then retrogress from that point, right? So
Yeah.
it is gonna get better with time, and it's but it's relieving when you get something like this approved. It's reassuring as well that okay,
Yeah.
uh, one other person I was able to convince the government
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I'm something. So
Yeah, I mean,
so
there's some personal,
yeah,
realization moment where all the hard work, because it also took you a lot of work to put together all the documents, and you were
yeah,
able to
yeah,
convince that officer. So that's great.
yeah. And so I did premium processing. It took me 7 days to get a response,
Hmm.
and they mentioned that 45 days is the standard time or the
Yeah,
maximum time, but like they do it well before that sometimes. So
yeah. It depends. Sometimes they take longer, sometimes shorter. But
yeah.
why did you decide to do premium, even if you knew that you
So
probably
so
could
so
have
there was
wait?
yeah, so there was some math behind it.
Okay,
The math was to get something approved before October
okay,
to so if the dates become current because October is the
okay,
first month, so if the dates become current, so that's
okay.
your best shot. And then like afterwards in November, December, it goes into retrogression phase.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened last year. So
I see, I see, I see.
that was the thought process, but that
That
completely
didn't
backfired.
happen. Yeah, you were hopeful that the new fiscal year would make things advance. Oh, well, you didn't
Yeah,
know, so you wanted to be there
yeah,
ready in case
yeah.
that happened.
I wanted to be there. I want to be like if this thing gets approved, so it should be approved in October. I should have my I-140 in my hand,
Yeah, yeah,
ready to file 485. But
yeah. I see, I see, I
okay,
see.
didn't
So,
work out.
so do you have any recommendation, tip, anything that you want to share with people in data science or anyone that is thinking about doing this process?
Yeah. So what I tell all the people, a lot of people around me as well, that you just have some portfolio built, have something built on the side, and that'll showcase your strength. And it's very important. It's even this portfolio, this Kaggle portfolio,
Mhm.
has gotten me into so many interviews, has gotten me job offers, a lot of job offers, and has gotten me my current job as well as like my previous jobs.
Yeah,
So it's
and now
like
this.
not and now this, yeah, and now it helped me in my immigration
Mhm.
process. So it's like it has a universal what you call advantage of having
Yeah.
this, right? So even not just data science, but like if you're in uh, some other field like maybe like not it's not too different but like software engineer and like
Mhm.
people put their work on GitHub. And if you have something well maintained for a long period of time and it's
Yeah.
presentable, it's something that if somebody asks you, okay, what's your work like,
Yeah.
what's your
What's your impact?
what's your level of expertise. So you quickly have a link you share to them, and then you show them, right? You're
Yeah.
just one share link away from like letting the other person know what level of expertise you have, right? So I think
Yeah.
if you have something like this, it's going to help you getting the recommendation letters very easily as well. And
Mhm.
I'll be very honest, I didn't really face much pushback from anyone
Yeah.
in getting the recommendation letters. And in fact, I got more than like one independent letter as well because of this. I had
Mhm.
something to show, right? I just pasted my thing, and
Yeah.
my university over here in US, they also build a very nice story on my journey, and
Yeah.
then over there they also like kept it in bold, like ranked as top 1000 in on the largest data science platform. So I
Mhm.
pasted those links with my potential reviewers as well, independent
Mhm.
reviewers, and I think that played the part in convincing them to write something for me.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, and as far as like the EB2 NIW is concerned, I would say that get into so first buy this I-140 package and stay in tune with the Oscar's YouTube videos. Like, and yeah, I was following all these videos, like all
Mhm.
the success stories on your channel, that
Yeah.
30-minute sessions on your channel. And I was, I used to write down, okay, this person did like this. I can get this information, and then I can from some other. I think there was a cybersecurity person. I got
Yeah.
a lot of information
Happy.
from that. There
Yeah.
was another guy from Pakistan.
Yeah.
He was also into
Yeah.
data science. So I got a lot of information from that.
Yeah.
So these were two related cases. Other than that, there were PhDs and some business professionals.
Mhm.
So yeah, look into the people who have a similar journey like you, and
Yeah, and you can
yeah,
learn from everyone, right? I mean,
yeah,
even if it's not directly related, but you'll get
yeah,
some ideas.
yeah. So I watched all the videos actually, even if they were PhD. Like maybe I get some information for Prong one, how they did it. Like they did something creative over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah. So you should watch all of them, and then yeah, start writing. And the way I started writing the first prompt, like from the scratch, was the Oscars, what you call the I-140 cover letter. I
Hmm.
actually I actually started erasing what you did and
Yeah.
started writing on top of it. So it was
Your
like
own.
I was just I was just just using the same format and building now based on my profile.
Yeah, and
And
that's what
that
it's
saved me a
meant
lot
to
of time. It saved so much time. Like the structure is already there. Prompt one,
be. Yeah.
prompt two, what to write, where to write what, and then or how to link it with the idea. So this was all these linking back to the endeavor statement. All these
Yeah.
ideas I was getting from the I-140 package that I bought
Yeah.
from Oscar. So it really helped me. It really helped me. Really.
I'm glad, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's meant to do. Is not meant to be a copy paste, just because each case will be always different. It's
Yeah.
meant to use the structure and then see, okay, he argued in this way. I'm going to do something similar for my case.
Yeah. 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 That was a very lengthy process for two
Yeah,
months, for 1.5, 2 months. I
very
was
intensive, right?
very intensive. Yeah, very like you have to. It's like you're writing a huge like a research paper or something. I've never written it. I'm not a PhD, but it
No,
felt
but I
like
think
it felt like I was doing something big.
I think it's worse than a research paper. Maybe more like a thesis.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was big, and yeah, but it's really like satisfying when you get it through.
Yeah, congratulations again, because it's a lot of work, and you should definitely be happy about it. It's an accomplishment. So, and thank you for coming here, for giving your time for free so others can learn the same way you learned previously in the channel. I don't know if we left something on the table, if you need to add something, but I think we went even.
Yeah, I went step by. I was preparing for this since last night, so yeah, I have it all figured out by points, like how I did it. So
Okay, so we're
yeah,
good,
I've
right?
covered yeah, I've covered everything that
Everything.
in my experience with this.
Good.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
covered everything I wanted to. So So thank you again. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
and good luck now with the visa bulletin and with everything that comes later after you get the green card. Good luck in your professional endeavors and beyond in your life.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Same to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
If you enjoy content like this one about EB2 NIW or EB1A and you speak Spanish, yo también hablo español. Así que puedes encontrarme en mi canal Oscar's Green Card Español.